Hey friends, it's Peggy Hall back with you to offer some positive encouragement to help you and me keep our head above the waves in these stormy seas of life. Remember, positive thinking is not enough. You need to take action, and that's what today's show is going to be all about. What about when you want to give up? What about when you've been doing things, not getting the results that you want? I like to talk about elevating your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual self so that you can actually enjoy life and not let the tyrant steal your soul. And that takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of self-knowledge and stick-to-itiveness. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been going through. And just like you, there are times when I want to throw in the towel and say, what's the use? I get a lot of comments from people who are questioning why I have taken legal action against Orange County. So that's my home county in my state of California. And the Board of Supervisors is the local government that is breaking the law. There is a law that tells them what to do during an emergency, and they told the judge that they don't have to follow it because it's an emergency. So try to follow that logic. You can't follow it, neither can they. So what they've been doing is just delaying and kicking the can down the road. In fact, I'm heading over to the courtroom right after I finish this live stream. And this is about the fourth or fifth or more of these hearings that keep being delayed because every time it's assigned to a new judge who says, oh, I didn't have time to read the case, so you'll have to come back in another month or 6 weeks. So that shows that they are on the hook for the county, and they are, as the saying goes, all in it together. If you'd like to know about that, I will leave you a couple of links. I've got my lawsuit explained in 7 minutes, and I've also got a 45-minute deep dive where I go into the backgrounds of each judge. I take you step by step through each hearing, all the ridiculous things that were said. Some of you really like all that detail. Others just want the 7 minutes. I'm not even going to talk about the lawsuit today, other than to say that their strategy has been to drain my pocketbook. And I'll just tell you that they are succeeding. So I actually don't have the money to pay the bills. And I'm going to start selling a few things because they have dragged this on for so long that every time there is another motion, every time there's another meeting, another phone call, a deposition, any type of exchange with the county attorneys that are communicating with my attorneys, cha-ching, the bill, starts to rack up. And I've already paid thousands and thousands of dollars. Many lovely supporters have sent me $5, $50. There is a link in the description box. I will leave for if you are interested. You can also go right to the website, thehealthyamerican.org. Actually, I don't like to ask for money. I like to be very self-sufficient. It's even in my business. It's me and my lovely Olivia, who's basically working as a volunteer these days. Sorry, Emma, I couldn't afford to pay my editor for my videos anymore. So I'm doing all of that on my own because every penny is going to this lawsuit. And it should not have cost very many pennies. It should have been something that was just submitted to the court. The judge should have signed it and told the city, the county, follow this law, hold the hearings in public. That's all we're asking, that they're supposed to receive information from the health officer in public to show that they have evidence to continue the emergency. Yes, my friends, there is still a cooties emergency alive and well in Orange County, California, and in the state of California, although the governor says that he's going to end that emergency tomorrow, which is February 28th. So I predict that the county is going to delay once again, wait for the governor, which is illegal to have the governor tell them what to do. That's a totalitarian state. The governor doesn't have any authority to tell the county board what to do, but that's exactly what they said in public, that we're no longer going to vote on this. We're no longer going to take information. We're just going to keep the emergency going until the governor tells us it's over. Okay, that is usurping our constitutional republic. We don't have a totalitarian dictatorship where one ruler tells you what to do. And that is the issue of this lawsuit. It's not about money. As I say, it's costing me thousands and thousands of dollars. It should have been $1,000 at the most, $5,000 if there was a hearing, and it's gone in the multiple tens of thousands. Yes, that's actually correct. And So their tactic was to wear me down. And trust me, there were many a day where I thought to myself, I'm just going to pull the plug. This is ridiculous. I don't have the money. I don't even have the desire to keep going to court, to go on this merry-go-round, this circus. And if you watch the 45-minute video called I predicted this would happen, it's all about the circus and all of the clowns in the circus. As I say, I break it down step by step, and it's all facts. It's all truth. I'm not maligning anyone. It's actually showing the truth. So that is one of their tactics, is to wear me down financially. And pretty much I can't go any farther after today. There's nothing more that I can do financially to keep this going. It's gone on for almost 2 years. I filed the case in August of 2021. I've been fighting this for 3 years, since exactly yesterday was the day 3 years ago in Orange County when they called for this emergency. And it's ridiculous. Any third grader knows an emergency doesn't go on for 3 years. We're in the recovery, if there ever was an emergency. Maybe we're in the mitigation where we're planning for future emergencies, but there's certainly no emergency unless they define an emergency until the day when no one ever gets sick again. So that's part of the leftist, progressive, utopian new world disorder, is to control people through their health by saying it's illegal to be sick. I mean, it's against the law if you're sick. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's absurd. And that's what I'm fighting against. What I'm really fighting against is to help you and me live in a society that is free, that we have laws that are supposed to be adhered to. Now, many of you have told me, thousands of comments have said, Peggy, the Constitution is dead and gone. All of the judges are corrupt. And I, in my persevering way, wanted to test the waters for myself. And I want to talk about the second way that they try to drain you, which is psychologically, to have you give up. So what do you do when you want to give up? How to not give up. Now, financially, there definitely is a hard limit. When my pocketbook is empty, as it is, I'm far behind in paying the bills since November. And trust me, the attorneys are giving me a 50% discount. They are, also believe in what I'm doing. But it comes to the point where this strategy of draining the pocketbook is very powerful. And it really, I'm at a loss for words here, because that is so underhanded, and it's actually evil. But I hold on to the vision of these evildoers actually apologizing to me. And this is the vision that I am going to hold on to going into court today, that inside their own minds, if they have not been corrupted and if God has not turned their hearts to stone, I know that they know that what I am doing is right, because it is right. And I have already won, because the truth is on my side. And I know that God put me here to fight this evil, as he has done for you. And if you have supported me with $1, with $10, with $100, you are in this fight with me. So many people say, Peggy, what can I do? I can't make the videos. I can't go to the rallies. Nobody in my family believes what I'm saying. Well, you can support this lawsuit if you'd like me to keep going, because it is going to be coming to an end, and not because of my desire, but because of the financial ability. And that is one of the tools. The county has unlimited resources. They have billions and billions and billions of dollars. And I am the David fighting the Goliath. And they have, I think, 5 attorneys on this case, at least 4 or 5 attorneys on this case that have been assigned to try to dig up dirt on me and turn the tables and come after me in a vindictive manner. It reminds me of the situations of sexual harassment, where a woman will make a claim against, her boss, saying that he, groped her or propositioned her or whatever. And then they turn it around. They go after the employee rather than stand on the law, because they can't stand on the law because the law is against them and the law is on my side. So I want to turn my attention to something where I can stand strong and where they will never wear me down. And that is the psychological and the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. Like, my soul is not for sale. They will never have access to my peace. It will never happen, because I hold the vision of complete and utter victory of these individuals that are obstructing justice, because the law is very clear. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll just give you a 30-second reminder. It's California Health and Safety Code 101070. It says that this county is required to publicly receive updates from the health officer to determine whether or not there is evidence, there is proof that there is an emergency that needs to be continued. And then the law, and they have to receive that at least every 30 days, if not daily. If it's such a dire emergency, don't you think they would want these updates? Instead, they have said on the record, we're never going to get another update. And this was over a year ago. They said we are never, actually, it was a year ago, over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, June of 2021. They publicly stated, we don't want any more updates. We don't want you to tell us if there's an emergency in our county. We're just going to have the governor tell us if there's an emergency in our county. It's not the governor's job to tell a legislative body to do anything. That's called a dictatorship. This is the basis of the lawsuit. Do you care or not? Do you want to live in a dictatorship? That is the issue of this case. The judge is required to rule as to whether or not the county legislative body has any legal authority to say, we're not going to follow this law that requires us, compels our behavior during an emergency because it's an emergency. That's like saying, I don't have to stop at a stop sign because it's a stop sign. That's exactly their convoluted, absurd, idiotic, mentally ill, deranged way of fighting back against my case. So what they've done is they've changed the judges in a rotating merry-go-round of circus clowns, each time having a new date where our attorneys in advance say, is the hearing on this date? We are prepared. Are you prepared? We're coming. And when we arrive, the judge says, oh, I didn't have a chance to look it over. That's illegal as well. And I did a video called Obstructing Justice, if you'd like to watch that one, all about the judges obstructing my justice. I'm supposed to have access to a speedy resolution. So it goes to the aspect of the psychological wearing down, and that's their other warfare technique. Yes, it's a war, and apparently I'm the only one in it. Okay, I'm the only one fighting this war. I don't know anyone else who has a lawsuit against the county in the state of California that is all cowering in the shadow of the dictator. I calls it like it is. Okay, am I the only one that cares? Apparently I am. Apparently I am. Yes, there were two people that showed up at the courthouse to support me. One of them was my husband. Yeah. The other was Michael, who drove from San Jose 8 hours to come to the courthouse in Orange County. There may have been one or two others. At this point, it's so confusing, the merry-go-round of the hearings. And they will never wear me down psychologically, spiritually, intellectually, because I know the law better than they do. When I was on the witness stand, basically, in the deposition, it's the same as giving testimony under the penalty of perjury. And one of the attorneys very snippily said, well, you seem to know a lot about the law. And continually asked me if I was an attorney, as if only attorneys could understand the law. Despicable, condescending. I cannot stand this elevating of one profession over another. You know, the healthcare heroes. Oh, really? Well, I hope they're good at their job, but why are they a hero? Don't they get paid for what they do? Why are they a hero? I have several healthy American clients that are in the healthcare field. I don't think they would consider themselves a hero or above someone else. They may have more knowledge in a certain area. I don't care for the condescending nature of the attorneys questioning my understanding of the law and my bringing forth this lawsuit. They know that I'm right. It is cut and dry. This is called a writ of mandate, where I am petitioning, right? I am requesting of the court to require, and just look it up in the state of California, writ of mandate. It says that a judge, a court, can compel a lower court, so like an appeals court, can tell the lower court to overturn a ruling. The Supreme Court can tell a lower court to throw out that ruling and they supersede it. So that's a type. A higher court can also compel a lower court to hear a case. And that would be my next thing, is I would have to go to like an appeals court or the Supreme Court of California to compel one of these judges to rule on the case. You can't just keep going on forever. Now, their strategy is that tomorrow the governor is going to end the fake, phony, fraudulent cooties emergency in California that's been going on for 3 years. And the county is going to say, well, we don't have to rule on this case anymore. Okay, emergency's over. The case is over. No, the case is not over. There are 2 questions that I want this court to settle. Number 1, under what legal authority does the county have to not follow the law that was written to compel their behavior during an emergency? That's what the law says. 10-10-80, it says during a local health emergency, this is what the county does. You got any 3rd graders around? Have them come on and they'll explain it to the judge. Okay. That's the law, 10-10-80. And there's another one, Government Code 8630 says the same thing. This is what the county must do during an emergency, all right? So here's what the county says. Well, we don't have to do it because it's an emergency. You might think I'm joking, and I'm not. This is the case, and I want the judge to say the county is wrong and the law is right. So if he doesn't, you and I are going to have a field day because all bets are off. The gloves will come off, and I am going to expose all of them. I mean, we're going to do a deep dive. I've already shown you how much money they make, $250,000. Yeah, to trample on your rights. Some of them are making close to $300,000 to trample on your rights, and they're draining my pocketbook because I'm standing up. I'm standing up for them. That's the nature of what's going on in corrupt Orange County, probably in your county as well. The second question before the court that has to be answered, regardless of whether the emergency goes on for the next 300 years or the dictator benevolently ends it tomorrow. The second question is, under what legal authority does a legislative body, which is a separate branch of government, mind you, yes, you don't need to be an attorney to know that we have 3 separate and ideally co-equal branches of government: the executive, which is the governor, which is the mayor, which is the president. And I know for the whole last 3 years, they've brainwashed everyone into thinking that the governor can make a law or issue an order that you personally have to follow, and you don't, and you never had to. Under what legal authority? So that's one branch. We have the legislative branch, which is the county government. It's also your city council. It's your HOA. It's your school board. It's your water district. These are bodies. It's not one person. Friends, didn't you learn this in 4th grade? I don't fault you because they don't want you to know it. And then there's the 3rd branch that I'm involved in right now, which is the judicial branch. This is the supposed to be the law enforcement branch of these laws that are made by the legislative body that are carried out by the executive branch. That's how it works. It's brilliant if it's followed. So I'm going to bat to ensure that it's followed. So here's the second question. Under what legal authority, not just by speaking the words, under what legal authority, where is the law that gives this Orange County government the authority to, can I use the word piss on? Okay, yes, I've never used any vulgarity on this channel, but let me just say, tear up the Constitution by saying, we're not going to vote on this anymore. We're going to have the governor tell us what to do. Are you understanding what I'm saying? This is the nature of the lawsuit that I've been speaking about for over a year. Are you on board with me? Do you care about this? Do you want the governor to tell you what to do? And do you want this lawsuit to be a precedent where the governor now is going to go back and cite Hall versus the Orange County Board of Supervisors, saying that the court ruled that the governor gets to call all the shots. Okay, I will move to Mexico. I promise you, I will move to Mexico, because I would rather live under a dictatorship that is already established than to see one crumble before my eyes where I was the only one fighting it. At least I will stand in dignity and integrity and self-respect that I did something about it. I did something with my money, with my intelligence, with my time. I come before you every single day with my videos. Don't you think I'd rather be walking my dog, watching a movie with my husband, maybe doing the laundry or doing some grocery shopping? I dedicate my waking hours to freedom. And this is what I'm repaid with from the corrupt judges, the corrupt county attorneys, earning more money than probably most people will earn in their lifetime in 1 year, to denigrate our rights, to drain my pocketbook, to make it, to use all of these procedural, and I don't even know the words, to bamboozle everyone so that justice will not be served. That is what is at stake here this morning. They also are draining my time after time, driving to the courthouse. I don't live near the courthouse. The gas money, the time to spend there. All the other cases that are heard before ours, just to be told I don't have time to hear it today. Why didn't you email us beforehand and say, don't show up? It's disgusting. It's despicable. It's condescending. And I thank God that I have his power within me, his supernatural strength, because I could not do this on my own. It's not possible. So what I do when I want to give up is I remember what I am fighting for. And if I look back in the future, will I be proud of what I did, or will I be ashamed that I gave in? That is what keeps me going. The principles of truth. There is one truth, there is one reality. And even if the ship goes down, I am fighting for it. I told Pastor David, we're on the Titanic and it is sinking, but I at least want to be on the top deck. I don't want to jump overboard. I am seeing it through until the money runs out, which apparently is now. So I've told the attorneys, I have to do a payment plan or something. When people say, for example, in response to the 45-minute deep dive video I did about, no, the United States is not ceding its sovereignty to the WHO. Would you stop falling for the hoodwinkers, the bamboozlers that are trying to put you in the spin cycle? I'm here with solutions. And you guys are not you, but the other guys are sending me emails about the WHO is taking over the United States. Come on. Why are you falling for that? I did a 45-minute deep dive explaining the actual law. So the WHO is going to now be sitting in our legislature? What they are doing and what they have been doing since the beginning of this nation, since the beginning of this country, is they have their plants, they have their saboteurs, they have their infiltrators. Hamilton was one of them. Yes, the musical that they're trying to, now make him a hero. There were several traitors in this country, and there still are. Now, I don't know if they're getting paid by the New World Disorder, possibly. I don't know if they're getting threats. I don't know if they just want to pat themselves on the back and think that they're going to be the next dictator. So yes, they are in our legislature, and they are voting in ways that are contrary to the will of the people. I will grant you that. But the WHO does not have the legal authority to make laws in our country. And that's what sovereignty means. It means who has the power to make the law in your country. Now, the president, the governors, as they did, they all followed the WHO, but there was no legal authority for it. And I spoke out against it. And I was one of the first voices, if the only voice, exposing that in the very beginning. I thought everybody knew it. And instead, people say, well, what are you going to do about it? Well, I am doing something about it. What are you going to do about it is the question. You're going to complain about it? You're going to leave a comment on a YouTube channel saying, well, the U.S. already followed the WHO. Oh, well, then I'll just stop teaching about it then. I'll just be as ignorant as everybody else. I'm sick and tired of the excuses of the people that are not going to do something about it, that just are, what are they called? The keyboard warriors that all they have to do is to complain without taking any action, without taking any creativity. At the very least, share this video. It costs you nothing. Why is everybody sharing all the videos about the WHO sovereignty and they're not sharing my videos about the lawsuit? How is it that this lawsuit, which is probably the most important lawsuit in our country, is not getting any press? Because they don't like my truth. They don't like my narrative. Because I'm not one of the spin doctors putting people into an alarmist state of spin, because I actually bring solutions. My husband and I are the reason why they no longer are requiring these religious, they're no longer requiring these jabs by and large in the companies, because we've educated them. Imagine if I had not done anything. Imagine if I had just stood around complaining like everybody else. They'd still be requiring the jab in the military, in the government. I helped so many people in the government not get the jab. Anybody that I helped, if you can send a couple of dollars to help me, I would be really, really grateful. I did over 1,000 free videos to educate people about their religious exemption rights, to educate people in the beginning about they didn't have to wear the scam. And don't be emailing me saying that you tried to tell Whole Foods and they kicked you out of the store. At least you stood up for yourself. Oh, would you have rather suffocated yourself and gone in with no self-respect? You don't even know what result your action may have had. Yes, you may be banned from Whole Foods, but why in the world would you want to go to a store and give them money if they want to suffocate you? So no, I don't want to hear from people that tried these things. And maybe you didn't even try it according to the way that I teach it. There are plenty of people that are trying to get medical care and they don't follow the steps. They just show up and then they say, well, they wouldn't let me in. I never teach to just show up. And I've got thousands of videos for free that I've dedicated, thousands of hours of research, putting my own life on hold for this. And now today's the wire. I got to get going, friends. I got to get to that lawsuit. So yeah, I flew off the handle today. It's righteous anger. It's legitimate. All emotions are valid. I've never given any threats of violence. I don't intend to. I've never thrown anything. I've never, had any of that. This is an appropriate release of an appropriate emotion of anger, which is a feeling, an emotion that you have in response to a perceived injustice. And it's not just perceived, it is a real injustice. So I thank all of you for being on board. I probably am going to replay this video on the Healthy American channel this evening because I'm going to be in the court today and I don't know what time I'm going to be home, right? So if I am able to do a live stream when I come back, it might not be at 5 o'clock, it might be later. So I might replay this because I think this video needs to be heard again and again. And I do want to thank all of you that have supported me. Those that support me, I support you. And on Saturday, we had a 1 hour and 45 minute, we went almost twice as long as anticipated with a live Q&A webinar for all the supporters where you put in your questions and we answer them live and they go in the Q&A and we support you. And we also talk about critical thinking. Pastor David is there. He prays for you. The comments that I got from people are just incredible. Let me see if I pull up a few of these. It was really great. I'll just read a couple. They said, thank you, Peggy, for the information and role modeling. And thank you for the wisdom and compassion, Pastor David. Anita says, this is the first viewing of your monthly Q&A. It's a great webinar. It's a great idea. And a great closing prayer for us activists. Sandra says, thank you so much for giving us so much hope and standing firm in your values. We truly admire you. Thank you, Peggy, for the information and role modeling. And thank you for the wisdom. Oh yeah. So Laura says, New York City finally lifted the vaccine. Yeah, there I said it. Illegal requirements following a small number of people protesting and testifying before city council. I was among the people who testified. New York City became overwhelmed with a lack of workers because many workers stood their ground and they did not get jabbed. I thank people like you around the country who gave others the encouragement and advice and prayers. So what I'm doing has had an impact and I'm going to stand on that. I already am victorious in this lawsuit. Almost a year ago, well, let's see, in September of 2022, the first judge ruled that we were right and the county was wrong. And the judge said, you're wrong, you're breaking the law, and you're going to come back in 3 months. Now, why he gave them 3 months, I don't know. You're going to come back in 3 months and show me that the county has been holding these meetings in public as required by law, or you're going to show me the legal authority as to why you don't have to do that. All right. That's called order to show cause. It was ordered by the court in September. And then in December, the judge said, oh, I don't have time to look at that. In January, the judge said, oh, I don't have time to look at that. And now here we are back in February. The purpose of today's hearing is for the county to show that they've been holding these meetings in public, or why they don't have to do it. And they're going to say, because it's an emergency. It's called a circular argument. I'm right because I'm right. It's an emergency, so we don't have to do what the law says we have to do in an emergency. It's actually laughable. And I'm going with a sense of cheerful curiosity. I know it's a circus. I know that they're going, I'm ready to laugh and have like some comedy relief, because it probably will be very funny. Because what else am I going to do? I'm not going to let this steal my joy. I am never going to give up educating people on their rights. Somebody else is going to have to step up with the pocketbook, because mine has been drained. And I've got a beautiful dining room table for sale. If anybody wants to buy it, I'll send you pictures. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so let me know. Thank you for your prayers, everybody. And I have to head out. Pastor David's giving me the time clock there. All right. Thanks, everybody. I can't wait to look at all of your comments. Would you do me a favor? Would you send this video? Would you post it on your Telegram? Yeah. Would you post it on your Facebook? Would you post it on your Instagram? Would you send it in your email list? I want this one now to go viral, just like the WHO sovereignty, which was ridiculous. And let's stand on the side of truth and of facts and of reality. I appreciate you. And especially all of those of you that are supporting me. It's not too late. You can go to thehealthyamerican.org/donate if you want to send a check. The link is below. And I promise you, once this lawsuit is over, I'll take down that donate button. I know many of you are having financial challenges. Many of us are. And my prayers are with all of you. All right, friends, that's it for now. Thank you. God bless you. And I will see you. And I'll bring you the